All right, let's call this meeting of the Boylston Regional School Committee to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everybody. Al, I think we're starting off with a few special guests.
Yes, so good evening, school committee, good evening, members in our audience tonight. So I'm going to read a little something for us. So tonight we are proud to recognize and celebrate the Tohoto football team for an outstanding and memorable season. Excuse my back, sorry. This year the team finished with an impressive record of 9 wins and 4 losses, and for the 4th consecutive year, they earned a spot in the Division 8 state finals. What an incredible honor it is for you to reach the Super Bowl 4 years in a row, a testament to their hard work, dedication, and perseverance. While the team fought valiantly and came up short against Randolph this year, that single game does not define who these student athletes are or what they represent. They're among, not only are they football players, they're student athletes, sons, grandsons, brothers, scholars, caring individuals, and most importantly, outstanding young people. They're truly great kids, and our entire school district are incredibly proud of them. We'd also like to extend our sincere thanks to Coach Mike Ross, who I know did incredible work with you guys, and our athletic director, Julie Lee, for their leadership, commitment, and exceptional organization, preparing the team for their experience going to Gillette Stadium. What an experience. I know myself being there too, as well, being on that field. We're immensely proud of our students, and the recognition, and this recognition is our way of saying thank you for representing Tohoto with class, character, and pride. Congratulations. Things you're doing and other places you're going to go to, so we appreciate you coming to our school committee. After you get your little certificates from us, please, you're more than welcome to join us, so you're more than welcome to head right out that door as well. To go, and I'll be right behind you. So this is just our way as a school committee and the community to say thank you. We got a really great certificate that's signed by not only the principal, myself, school committee, athletic director. There's also a great picture, maybe not so great because I'm in it, but there's a great picture in the back of we had our breakfast for you guys as well too, so it's a little keepsake for you guys. And we also have in here as a little thank you from our entire committee, as well as your administration, is just a gift card to a place called King's. We go to that place? Okay, so that's going to be there for you guys as well. So when we call your name, please just, if you would, just go right through here. You can shake the hands of our school committee members. And again, we're very proud of you boys. So thank you very much for all of you. That's what done to represent us so well. I'm going to start off with first, Jack Allen. Next, William Bruno. Chase Jarvis. Okay. Luke Lewis. Jordan Marino. Brad Hughes. Thank you. Kevin, Rondo? Thank you. How about Dylan? Swear. Congratulations. Thank you. There are 2 other students I want to make sure I mention their names, Caden Tebow, as well as Clayton Whale, as well too. So congratulations, boys. Thank you very, very much. Kenny, hold on. No, you don't get away with that. Nice try, Kenny. Hang on. Just stand right there. And we asked you, everyone, to just do a little speech. So. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenneth Marco. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Before we leave, can everyone say thank you to the school committee? Thank you.
Okay, Al, our next item here is a little update on the school committee. So some people may know if you're at Boylston Elementary, but former committee member Lori Hart has given her resignation notice effective December 29th, something around there. So she's no longer a member of the committee. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but we have a little something for Lori that Al wanted to do first.
So thank you, Mike. We'd like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Laurie and Hart for 6 years of service and dedication to the Boylston Regional School District. Laurie has given countless hours in support of both our students and staff, always stepping up with professionalism, compassion, and commitment. We're equally proud that she's decided to join the staff of over 100 outstanding teachers in our school district, and we cannot thank her enough for jumping in to help our district when we're struggling with staff. Her willingness to serve has made a meaningful and will continue to make a lasting impression on our school community. Congratulations, Laurie. It's a little something from all of us here to thank you for your years of service and no pressure on you, but you gotta open that gift. You gotta show like. Give a little speech.
Oh, this is so nice. Thank you for 6 years of service presented to Lori Ann Hart with great appreciation for your countless hours of hard work and unparalleled dedication. Thank you so much for the BBRSD. Thank you. That means a lot.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Just one last thing. I thank Jen for helping certainly getting all this stuff prepared for us as well too. Because thank you.
Anything to say, Lori? Any words?
Can I say a few words?
Do you want to?
I actually would like to.
Okay, go ahead,
I
come on
printed
up.
out, it's only a little bit.
Sure.
I actually crossed some stuff up. I wasn't sure if I would be given the opportunity, and this is my last chance. I wanted to say it's been an honor and a privilege to represent the BBRSD over the past 6 years. It was at times a full-time job. I always tried to keep the students my first priority, followed by staff. To that point, I sometimes had to vote for things that I personally disagreed with, but that were in the best interest of the students and staff. I left my opinions at the door when I walked in the meeting and prided myself in being open-minded. To that point, I hope the committee appoints someone without an agenda. I feel that almost all who are currently on the committee are here for one thing, to make this district a great place to learn and teach. It's important to pick someone who will work with you, who is humble enough to do what is right for the district, even if it wouldn't be what they would choose for themselves or their own children. To the administrators at our schools, it has been an honor and a privilege to work collaboratively with you. This district is blessed to have competent, enthusiastic, dedicated professionals who genuinely care. Thank you for the important work that you do each day and every day. To central office and to Mr. Gainham, I have worked with 3 different superintendents and can truly say that this superintendent, along with the incredible central office staff that he hired, has been a breath of fresh air. You can feel the energy when you walk in the door, as it is a truly happy place. It runs on hard work, determination, focus on the students, and positivity. The professionals who work there are some of the hardest working, and their happiness comes from doing meaningful work in a really positive atmosphere that Al has built, fostered, and grown. And to the school committee, I will genuinely miss you and consider many of you friends. It has been an honor to sit beside you, to work with you, and to make positive changes in the district we care so deeply about. Thank you. This is a bittersweet decision because I love the work that we do. I love the work that we do, but this opportunity to be able to work with the students at BES, I'm honored. So thank you.
They're lucky kids.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa.
Yep.
Appreciate
No
it.
No pressure on you, but.
Thank you all, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Lori.
Thank you. I
So you don't want to stick around?
Yes. I wasn't kidding.
One last final point on Lori leaving. So when a school committee member leaves the committee before their elected term is up, Lori's term would have been up this year at the November election. The school committee will appoint someone. The regional district tells us that we will appoint someone to serve out the remainder of the unexpired term. So in order to do that, if anyone is interested in Boylston, I believe the only requirements are that you must live in Boylston, you have to be at least 18 years old, and you have to be registered to vote in Boylston. If you're interested in joining the school committee, send in the past, we've done a letter of interest and your resume to, we're going to send them all to Jen Fortune, so jfortune@bbrsd.org, the emails on the district website. Send your letter of intent and a resume to Jen before our next meeting, which is February 10th. So as the meeting is February 10th, we'll want a chance to look over everything, make sure everything's in. So we're going to set a deadline of the close of business, 5 p.m. on Thursday, February 5th, if you're interested in joining the school committee. At the February meeting, your name will be on the agenda. We'll go through a brief little interview. You'll be able to say why you want to be on the committee, and then we will deliberate after all have gone and appoint someone at the next meeting. The next meeting is February 10th. Have your information in by close of business, 5 p.m. February 5th. That's a Thursday afternoon, and email it to Jen, jfortune@bbrsd.org, right? And we'll put a little notice up on the district website or something that will pop up when you go there so people know what they want, know what they need to do. All right, with that out of the way, we have public comment. Would anyone like to make a public comment about any items on the agenda? Nope, okay. Can I have a motion, please, to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Beth, Lisa, any questions on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against it? All right, the consent agenda passes. Real quick on the superintendent search update. So as everybody knows, we did make an offer to Dr. Conway to be the next superintendent. We've gone back and forth a few times since then, negotiating terms, and we are both sides are in agreement on terms. And so the next step is to just get an actual full contract signed. The language of the contract is written up. The school committee will be going into executive session later tonight to take a look at that and talk about that. But that should get presented this week, and things are moving along on that front. So we'll have that.
Mike, if I can say something, so I'm already in communication with him, obviously waiting for that final signature to, we went to the basketball game this past Friday together as well too, so I got a chance to introduce him to a lot of people in the community as well too, so I'll continue once contracts are signed to invite him to particular town meetings and budget meetings and FinCom as well as that, so we'll start that process of transitioning from that, so cool, look forward to working with him.
All right, yeah, so that's exciting. The next item there is listed as district clerk. So Lori technically has been serving as our district clerk, and she's no longer here, so we have to find a new district clerk. I talked with folks at the elections office last week. The recommendation from them, which it really makes sense, is that the district clerk should not be a member of the school committee. The district clerk, one of the main jobs that they have to do is to certify the names on the ballot for the school committee elections. So I would like to recommend that Jen become our district clerk as well, since she's already our secretary, right? Jen, but we do need a formal vote for that. So could I have a motion, please, to name Jen Fortune the district clerk for BBRSD?
So moved. Second.
All right, anyone want to discuss it?
Jen, what are your feelings on that?
We talked about this, we
Yeah?
need to know.
Okay.
We're not just saying, by the way, who's in the room, Bill, get into it, it's homework that has been done.
Which of her eyes suggested otherwise?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. She's already the school committee secretary. It makes sense. The only thing that needs to happen is this summer, once all the towns have certified the signatures on the nomination papers for anyone who's interested, she then has to sign off on that and send it in to the state. There's a couple other little things, but it's only as they come up.
Yeah, what about the Facebook page? Because I know Lori did that as well.
Yeah, she did that. Yeah, there's a few of us on that, so. Cool. Anything else?
Is that under the purview of the district clerk then,
What's that?
the Facebook page?
No, right now. No. It's still under, I think Lori's got to sign over.
But I'm saying, is it underneath that job description of district clerk?
No. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? All right, cool. All right, so Jen, you're the district clerk. We have to officially send a notice to the Secretary of the Commonwealth's election office. All right. Next up is Mr. Dowd, student report. It's been a little while.
It's been a little while since I've been here, but I have a couple of cool things to talk about. So in terms of sports, I know we just recognized our football team for an awesome season. Right now we have our basketball season going on. This year I'm a senior, which is great because I have my own car, so I've been able to go to a lot of the sports games this year, which is it's a really awesome opportunity. I like going to the games. We have the cheerleaders at our home basketball games, which is great. And our basketball teams are both doing really good. Pretty sure every home game that I've been to, we've won by a pretty good win. So that's really awesome to see. Next week, our high schoolers, we have midterms weeks coming up. So lots of studying, lots of exams for next week. And then after that, really big exciting thing, especially for me as a senior, is we have our class exhibitions coming up. So for those that don't know, exhibitions are like a 3-4 month research project that seniors do in English class that culminate in like this massive film presentation, groups of like 4 people. And you spend 3 months researching, reading, watching movies, films, articles, documentaries, all sorts of things around the central topic. And you present sort of a general question in the form of a film or movie or presentation. And it's this really awesome experience. It's very oriented towards sort of more independent college level work in high school English, where it's really a deep and important research project for the students to do. So I've been in the midst of that. Presentations are coming up in February and then I think April too. So that's really exciting. They're really awesome to watch if you've never been to one. They're held in the auditorium and they're always really amazing to watch. Then the last thing I wanted to point out was some of our student council stuff going on. So this year coming up, very exciting for our sort of the Central Mass Student Council is Tohoto is hosting the Winter Day of Service here at Tohoto this year. So Winter Day of Service is something that like the Central District of Student Councils in Massachusetts hold every year in the winter. We do like a community service event. So, we typically make gift baskets for first responders or donate money, raise money, fundraisers for children's hospitals, things like that. All sorts of community service-oriented workshops and talks. And this year, we're lucky enough to hold it at Tohoto. It's rare, Tohoto being a relatively small building in the state. It's rare that we hold events at Tohoto. So this is a really exciting opportunity for our student council to hold this event. And then I actually noticed, because I put this on my thing, on my list, and I noticed it was on the business item for a vote later tonight, is the MASC Hyannis Conference. So the Hyannis Conference is like sort of this 3-day retreat in the Cape Cod Village, where student council members from all over Massachusetts meet for workshops and motivational speeches. There's a formal dinner one night, there's a dance, and there is like an insane amount of like the energy. So I was lucky enough to go one year, and like the energy in the building of being surrounded by 1,200 students from all over the state and student councils is an amazing experience. So I'm hoping that I'll be going again this year with our student council. And it's a really fun and amazing experience to have. That's what I got for you guys today.
So Matthew, where were you with the college trip? Where were we at?
So I've made all my applications in. Yesterday I had an interview at Harvard University. That went really well. That was really exciting for me. But so I'm still waiting to hear back from a bunch of places, and then I'll be, so doing
Top choice? Are you ready to say your top choice yet?
Well, my top choice personally would be Boston College or Harvard.
Yeah.
Those are my two favorites.
Yeah.
But still waiting to hear back from a couple others too.
It's wonderful. Congratulations. Good luck.
What your topic is for exhibition?
My topic, so my group's topic, our research question is how has society affected relationships through generations? So studying back from like the early 1800s with like wedding dowries and sort of class societies to more modern, less focused on marriage, relationships, things like that. So we're sort of studying how has society affected that change through generations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Al, you're up next.
Great. So just along the lines, I know it's on the agenda, Tohoto is now becoming a spot that we're having our students coming on January 30th, I believe it is, Jen. We have superintendents, I have superintendents coming from across the state that will be here, spending the afternoon here with us as well too, and seeing some of the really great things that are happening at our school district. So it really is, that the Boylston Regional School District, and it's a spot for people to be coming to now. And even if we're just gathering here, for them to get the chance to walk around our buildings and putting us more and more on the map, it's just, it's really a great thing that we're doing. So a couple of things on my first thing is new hire updates. So we had a lot happening during certainly the holiday break. We did a number of hiring of long-term subs. That was a necessity. So one of the things we should be extremely proud of when we put these jobs out there, and we put them out in December on School Spring for long-term subs. Our bar that we're creating as a district is they all have to be highly qualified, they have to be certified, they have to be SEI endorsed. We should expect nothing less than that for people that are going to be in our schools, delivering instruction sometimes for a very, very long period of time, sometimes for the remainder of the year. You need to know we're extremely happy that the people that were applying to our district, which is a really good reflection on us as a school district, that people are coming in December that want to come work for our school district. We did a number of hires. We first hired Laurie Hart, as we know, as our long-term sub for grade 3 in Boylston. Monica Cervezo is our long-term sub in grade 5 in Boylston. Karen Maney is our long-term sub in grade 2 in Berlin, all certified, highly qualified teachers. And Maureen Rose, who I know is here today as well too, is our new long-term sub, not really sub, for assistant principal at Tohoto School. I know Rich is going to do a little bit of an introduction for Maureen. We are thrilled that all of these people, and especially with Maureen being here tonight, that they are joining our staff. We're very fortunate. So thanks. You want to just give a little bio about Maureen as well too?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you much. First, I just want to say how honored we are to have Maureen as part of the team. She comes to us most recently from the Boylston Public Schools and has nearly a decade of administrative experience. Not only being a former classroom teacher for English, but also a special education teacher. It's noteworthy to mention that not only does she hold a 5-12 assistant principal license, but she also is licensed as a special education administrator, which brings an excellent lens to provide opportunities for all of our students. Her expertise and skill set fits very nicely with our team, and we're very much looking forward to collaborating and building that skill set here at Tohoto for many of the initiatives that we have upcoming.
Thank you. And I don't know if I should stand up.
Yes, please.
But thank you, Superintendent. Thank you, School Committee, for having me. Thank you, Rich, for the intro. I'm beyond overjoyed to join the Tohoto community. My first week has been so impressive, so exciting. Every classroom I go into, every interaction I have, it's a really special place to be, and I'm looking forward to the work ahead.
We're thrilled that you're joining us. Thank you very much. Questions on any of the hiring, right? So again, December out there, the standard that we're looking for is high qualified, certified instructional people that are going to be coming in, whether it be a leader or instruction in the classroom. So we're thrilled that we're able to have those people join us. And I know it's just something small, but you just need to appreciate, like even the rolling in of even our administrators, right? So Martin comes in, we make sure that we're getting that transition taking place. Business cards were her, letterhead, that's there, so that we're really treating people like the professionals that they should be in this district. Lisa now is our new curriculum director, letterhead, stationery, business cards. That's really when we're going to these meetings, we're going to these conferences and dropping our business card or sending a note off with the stationery and our letterhead and stuff. It's the things that we should really be doing, and we're really implementing all those things when we're hiring people in there. So we're really thrilled that they joined us, so thank you for that. The next thing that's on there is just a little background on school delays and cancellations. So we had our first 2-hour delay this past week. For people, I want to just make sure people appreciate the process that we go through. It's myself making that final decision. I am working very closely with the superintendents of both communities for facilities that they're on the highways, and they're giving me their feedback. We have a text message group that we have going on that we've created, so we're texting each other in the morning. I am also part of a group of superintendents, both this part of the community, Clinton out in that area, another grouping of superintendents that are both in Northborough, Marlborough, Hudson, and then also Worcester and Auburn and all in the Nassau Valley. So it's a really quite an interesting text message groupings that we have going at 4:30 in the morning. Most people can see me in my neighborhood at 4 o'clock in the morning walking my dogs at the same time trying to decide if it's going to be slippery enough. We made a 2-hour delay. Final decision is we have a process that we go through, notifying school committee, notifying the TV stations, notifying bus companies, notifying our admin. We have a group text that we make that decision on, notifying both towns as well too, so that everyone is aware of that. The one thing that I made an error on, and we fix that for the next time, is when there is a 2-hour delay, we will be canceling our AM preschool program and our before school program. So we had a little bit of an issue with that. That was a lot of times when you're seeing it on the news in the morning, you see AM preschool canceled. Well, I didn't know that, so that was our first one. So for the next one in the future, we're prepared that, and I publicly want to just say that when there is a delay, preschool and before school programs will also be canceled at that time as well too. So I want to make sure people understand it really is a tough process to go through. There are some of my colleagues that had school that day, and that's a tough call, right? And there are some that then turned it over to a full snow day. I think the 2-hour delay was, for the most part, really good. We haven't had a snow day so far yet, so we're very fortunate. So I know I shouldn't have said that out loud, but we're looking to continue that as well too. Last thing, Berlin Memorial Principal Search. We said multiple times, John is retiring after years of service and dedication. We started that process through school spring. We put the applicants out. It has officially closed. We had 13 people certified, 13 people that applied, I should say. Myself, Lisa, and Jen went through the 13 and narrowed that down to 11. The way we narrowed it down, you have to be certified. If you're not certified, then we don't move you on to that next process. From there on, it will be in the hands of similar, exactly what we did in Boylston, where we're getting input from staff, getting input from parents, getting input from community members, and getting input from school committee members as well too. That will be doing that. That will bring that process, narrow that down. That will be happening in the next week or so. We're bringing people in to start looking at resumes. But right now we have 11 high quality, according to their resumes, are certified and ready to start going through that process as well too. And the form says the final decision is made by the superintendent. I've said to you publicly, and I've had that conversation with Dr. Conway on Friday as well too. That would not be a decision I would make in isolation. Obviously, it would be made with the next superintendent as well, because he will be working with that person and continue. So I think that will be a huge involvement that he'll be part of that when that final decision is made as well too. And I think that's all I have. Any questions on any of those items at all?
Cool.
Thank you.
The next item, I have you down here for Nature's Classroom. I know you wanted to add some thoughts on Nature's Classroom. Do you want to say anything?
Not having thoughts. Al was going to give us an update.
Sure, absolutely. So people have been asking that question. It's a great question to find out what's going on about Nature's Classroom, right? There's sort of a little bit lull there with the holidays and everything going on. School committee, as you know, has approved students to be going on Nature's Classroom. It's from May 19th on that Tuesday to May 22nd on that Friday. All students are invited and encouraged to attend Nature's Classroom. It is a true important transition for our students from both Berlin and Boylston. They work together. They're learning together. It's an educational field trip, and that is really laying a foundation for when they go off to Tohoto together as well too. Please appreciate it is an educational field trip. So if you're not going on that field trip, the expectation is that you're coming back to school. You're going to be in school those days, right? It is an educational day that John Campbell has done for multiple years now. He's also planning on being there as well. And Rob, I know Mr. Belzowski is also planning on going there as well too. We'll be getting information out. I should say they'll be getting information out to parents about fundraising, information about it, all the things that go along with it. But the expectation is that kids will be going on this trip. Teachers will be there chaperoning, parents will be chaperoning, and the expectation is that everyone is a full part of this experience, that you're there and you're part of that that week as well too. So that's a good update of what's happening with Nature's Classroom. Questions on that? Okay, thank you.
You mentioned chaperones, Al. Are you doing anything different with chaperones?
Sure. So
not just Nature's
yeah, so I know that two gentlemen in the audience are going to come up and talk to us about field trips that they're planning on as well too. Any type of overnight field trips that we're doing, we're going to do, in the past, right? We'd say, okay, you're going to be a chaperone, you're going to be a chaperone. Everyone was always quarried, right? Everyone was quarried and sorry. We made sure they went through that process. I've been working with the district attorney's office, and they're going to provide some training for chaperones. Like, what does that mean to be a chaperone? What does it mean when you're out on there? And I can be honest, I've been a chaperone for myself as well, right? So when you're there and your son or daughter's on that field trip, sometimes there's a lot of paying attention just to maybe son or daughter, but when you're assuming that role of a chaperone, you're assuming the responsibility for all the students that are there as well too. And so what does that really mean? We just don't deputize you and say you're a chaperone, and by just doing a quarried story. So we're going to do a little bit of training with our chaperones so that they know, like, what is the responsibility with that and the importance of that. That's not just additional field trip for them to be on the bus, but what the expectations are with that when it regards to 51A, who to report to, who to talk to the administrator that's there, the teacher that's in charge as well too. So all of that. So thanks, Mike. We'll be doing something different with our chaperones for overnight for field trips as well too.
Thanks. Any questions on that from anybody?
And with like a mix, where it's like, it might not just all be teachers, it will be like, we'll have some parents, some teachers, some variety in the overnight field trip chaperone.
I think that is absolutely what we're, and I don't want to speak for Rob and John, but I think that's the hope and the plan as well too.
It's always been.
For both schools.
Will the training be like recorded and so it could be done multiple years, or is it a live training?
So the training that we've given so far, and we did one training in Boylston, Berlin is scheduled, as well as Tohoto, that was live, right? So we have a good relationship with the district attorney, Julia Baranowska, who came and did some training before for us. So my age, again, like I said, she's one of my former students. She comes out and they do that training for us. So I'm hoping it would be live, because the biggest part of that is the questions that people ask, at least the training we have in Boylston as well too. So the thing right now is planning on being live.
Will that be open? Well, okay. So every
Maybe
year.
something you do like
plan
once a
on doing
year
it?
and you encompass anyone that wants to be an overnight chaperone, maybe like a once a year.
Yeah, so this is my first go at this, so
Yeah.
that's my, I'm sort of laying the path right now. I feel like this is something we need to do, and we're going to be doing this. I'm hoping that, this will be the notes that I'm already creating for Dr. Conway, right, to be able to say, this is what we're doing. And we have people that are continuing to be here as our administrators, certainly with Rich and with Rob, and this will be something hopefully we'll be able to continue anytime we're doing an overnight field. So I think it's good training we should have. Teachers as well too might be, will be part of that training.
So it probably makes sense if you got together with your team here along the wall and came up with some sort of procedure, protocol, something on chaperoning the whole process, training, selection, allocation, whatever you need to do.
Yep, we don't disagree, and that's something that's on our agenda to do. Tonight, I was just giving sort of an update about Nature's Classroom that involved chaperones as well too, yes.
A biannual training might be something to think
Yeah,
about.
and
because
leaving it
it's
open for
hard
people
to,
so that.
Say this is what I'm doing in,
Sure.
9 months.
Yep.
So.
I gotta tell you, the district attorney's office is a phenomenal resource for our community, right? Our district attorney is unbelievable, the people that work for him. Anytime I've ever need to call and ask them something, like right away. So it's been, they're a great resource for our community. Joe really has done some great work for us as well.
Perfect. Thanks, Al. Aaron, you have some information for us on some budgets?
Sure thing. Right front, or-
Sure, wherever you're comfortable.
Here's fine, okay. Okay. Okay.
Don't crowd.
Alrighty, so a couple of things. One item that is not on the agenda, you all should have a set of shiny, happy 2024 financials. Those are also in the school committee folder. I just got these this morning. I've not had a really good chance to dig through them to the degree I would like. I've had some fantastic conversations with our auditor, cleaned some things up over the past couple days. If you go through, there's definitely some, despite all the challenges we had, there are a lot of positive takeaways that I've identified. I don't want to get into those right now, but we can have conversations.
It was hard to find a
You guys
conclusion
can
in there.
digest it. I'd like to digest it further.
And Aaron, just for clarity, because we were at Berlin's town FinCom meeting just Tuesday, is that what they were?
Tuesday, sure.
Yeah, it was because last week, and we didn't have this information at that time. Yeah, so we went into today, Monday, whatever day we were there. But we didn't have that information at that time. So we literally just got this today. So we want to make sure that we told them that we would get that.
And I think I've said that this is the document that's going to help me have some confidence in some of the budgetary things we're talking about going forward. So getting to the next 2026 financial report, couple items. The first thing that's going to stand out to you in this report is insurance is way over budget. I had a few moments of panic on Friday as I was putting this together. I had a weekend of thinking where you kind of backtrack and go over. At the end of the day, the most obvious answer was the last answer I came to. And so it's not what it looks. We had a period, we have about 4 months of, we collect 25% of the health insurance costs from our staff. We put in what's called a withholdings account, it's a liability account, and then we use those funds to offset our health insurance costs. Somehow in a transition, I transitioned a number of payroll tasks to someone. Somehow there was a missed ball dropped in terms of posting the offsets to the withholdings. So there's about $500,000 in unposted withholdings that helps this considerably. You'll also note that there's $850,000 of school choice we've put towards this. It does still leave us with a little bit of a hole, but it's a hole that I feel comfortable we can fill. I'm having conversations about out-of-district special education costs with Janelle. They're doing really good work in the special education department, really trying to keep those numbers down and looking at creative options, keeping students in district. So I feel confident that what we will have as somewhat of an overage is nowhere near what's on here, and I will dig into that and share that a little further in a future meeting. But I can say with pretty good confidence that we're in an okay position in health insurance and overall. Some of that shortfall will feed into the budget number that we have for next year. There's a little bit of a shortfall, so that's carrying over into the numbers that I've shared with you previously on health insurance.
Aaron, can I ask you, just when you say missed posting, you're referring to posting in your reporting system, not
Yes.
missing cash or
Yes,
not
the money has been taken in. It just is sitting in an accounting ledger and just needs to be moved to another account.
So it's a data entry
That's all.
situation, not a.
It just wasn't moved from one ledger to the other. It's one of those, maybe you've never had this problem, but you go through every possible thing you can think of, and then the most obvious answer is the last thing you come to. So I kind of spent my weekend persevering over it and going through a lot of different things, the expense lines and what have you. And then it dawned on me to look into withholdings, and there was a large sum of money in withholdings. So that is what it is, and it was a bit of a humbling experience. And we all have those moments we wish we could have back. So I'm trying to get it back. Most of the salaries, those are our very biggest line items. Health insurance is one of our bigger, are trending where they should. Most of the 12-month salaries, so those are the folks who go July to June. If you were to dig into those, you'll see most of them are given, give or take 50%, right? So we've spent roughly, we were 12 payrolls into the year out of, or I'm sorry, 13 out of 26. We were 13 payrolls out of 26 payrolls into the year, and we were just about 50% through. We are about a third of the way through our teachers and other non-year round. So they go from September to August. So with our budget being what it is, in terms of what we budgeted for them for this year, you will see most of those line items in terms of available balances are at anywhere from 60 to 68%. And that would be typical right now. We have a small cohort of teachers that shift that balance because they get paid in 22 payments as opposed to 26. So that's why it might be less than 2/3 in some cases. There might be a few more teachers in that grouping. So I feel overall confident that we're in a good place, trending even. As I said, I think some of our other districts are trending downward, which is part of a conversation as we get into fiscal 27, where we're going to be able to try to work on that out of district number that we talked about. We always start from a worst case scenario, and then we work backwards. Everything that's happening positively in fiscal 26 impacts fiscal 27. Any questions on 26? Yes.
So you had, I think you said this before, but I just want to be clear. So for any line that has salaries in it, it's not going to have an encumbered amount. So that's why the balance is so high positive.
Yes.
So we're not really going to have that huge overage. It's just that there's no easy way to encumber salaries because it's not a real
In our
number.
current system, there isn't.
Gotcha. But you think
Unfortunately,
we're-
because we do it through Harper's, they don't encumber salaries in their system. So there's no real way to do it. So we look at it based on that remaining balance.
Yeah.
And if you look at most of those remaining balances, for example, for teachers' lines, you're going to see they're in that 60 to 68% range. Some areas, if we've had a vacancy or vacancies, things like that, there may be cases where there may be a larger number of teachers in that specific group who are on the 22 pay cycle. So it's tough for this to be a perfect science as it is. And even when you encumber salaries, it's tough for it to be a perfect science. You're doing the best you can.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does, so it's just that it looks like we're gonna have like 2.1 million here. I mean, it looks like we're gonna have huge overages, but that's because salaries aren't encumbered.
Yes, yes, good. My only comments on the 27 budget are we have met with the Berlin Capital Committee and then again with the Berlin FinCom. At the Berlin FinCom meeting, it was shared that, that was a public meeting, but it was shared that the Capital Committee had moved all of our capital requests forward. So that was positive, it felt good. The FinCom meeting was around our operating budget. Not a lot of questions this year. I think, they're maybe getting used to us and the way we work. I like to think that most of, what we're talking about, what we shared makes some sense in the big picture. It's still very, very early. I'm hoping that state numbers will come in by the end of the month. Health insurance for next year, again, I still have that at about 18% increase. Plus a little overage from what we didn't carry this year. In speaking with our health insurance rep, by the end of the month, they're expecting to vote on whether to discontinue coverage of GLP-1s. That has been a bit of a challenge for health insurance rates for quite a while. Those have been very expensive, partly because they're largely covered, right? So it's a challenge. If you look at ads and you look at things for GLP-1 medications now, those prices are coming way down. So there's a Blue Cross Blue Shield as a whole, separate from our MIAA group insurance, has already discontinued standard coverage of GLP-1s except for very specific medical conditions. There's every expectation that MIA will do the same. That will impact our rates, hopefully positively. So if we're not covering that anymore, and again, if it hits the over-the-counter or the individual pay market, those costs may come down for individuals as well. So I think there's some net positive kind of in all regards. So we're waiting to hear for that. That would be when we start getting our rate guidance. So they would give us by the end of January, they would give us some rate guidance. They would say between 10 and 15%. I would take, to start, I would take the top end of that, right? Whatever range they give us, I'd take the top end. And then somewhere in February, they would give us our final rates. So we would certainly have our final rates in time for the school committee's vote of the budget, but I wouldn't expect to have that before the end of February. State numbers, knock on wood, all things being normal, we should have state numbers by the end of January. We can definitely share those when they come in, and we'll embed those in the budget immediately.
And Aaron, just for clarity for the public, like, so we were invited to Berlin's FinCom and we were invited to Berlin's Capital. Boylston has not invited us yet, so they might have a different schedule. April and I sent a couple of emails back and forth, but we usually wait for the invite for them to invite us to those meetings, and then we go. We go every year around this time in Berlin. We're always following Assabet's superintendent as well too, but we had certainly those meetings already in place. Also part of the budget process tomorrow, we have an admin meeting early in the morning, and then we start that process. So like a wish list, right? So what they'd like, right? And then in the perfect world, what they're looking for. And I know that when you talk to certainly Rich and Rob, the things that they're hoping to put in place for next year or even into return. So that'll be start of the conversation that we'll be having with them, and that will be shared with you guys during budget presentations.
I have a quick question about a comment. You said the Berlin Capital Committee said all capital requests were moved forward. Does that include ones for Tohoto and VMS?
It does not include the parking lot.
Tohoto and
It does
VMS.
not include the parking lot, right? The capital, they did not approve the parking
Does
lot.
not.
Say again?
Berlin Capital did not approve the parking lot.
Did not approve the parking lot.
Yes, not the parking lot, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Sorry,
Although-
I was referring to like
You are
the
correct,
building.
not the parking
Yes,
lot.
everything else
You're
for
correct.
yes. So the only other thing, and I apologize, we got an email today from Kristen regarding the parking lot and funding for that. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I know that the money about that money in the grant, I'll be able to give you more of an update. Literally just got it maybe about an hour ago. So, but the parking lot is still a conversation that's out there. Berlin at this time has not approved that piece of the capital.
Sorry, I was referring to building.
Everything
those
else,
types of-
yes.
Yeah.
I apologize, I may not have heard her say not the parking lot, so I thought she said everything. But again, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
It was definitely not the parking.
No, no.
We talked about it again last
No,
night.
no,
It was
no,
definitely
it's
not the
not.
parking lot.
So Berlin has said no at this point to
To the parking lot,
to the
okay,
parking lot.
I missed that, I
Yeah,
apologize.
Oh, yeah.
So thinking back to the meeting and okay.
Yeah.
Fair
Everything
enough,
else
so I
on that
apologize
thing?
if I was unclear.
They did.
It was only 194, I think.
Yeah.
For
It was
Tohoto?
for Berlin,
Berlin
for
and-
VMS and Tohoto, it was pretty low. They were pleased with the
And let's also be clear, Berlin just funded
And they just
the
did the
roof, right? So they
roof
want to
also,
make
so
sure
it's
that
not-
we're clear about
yeah.
that, reminding school
They're-
committee about that, right? They just did an over, right? They, a vote.
No, so
no.
there was another town meeting in December.
That's right. That's right. So they want to make sure that that was publicly said as well too. So we're happy that getting done. And like I said to them at our meeting, right, the roof that they're putting on is a 50-year shingle. So I don't think any of us will maybe, at least I know we won't be worried about, right? For the next round, the people can certainly be worried about that.
Any other questions? Happy to. Okay.
Boylston FinCom appointed someone to fill an empty seat last night. So, you know, new face on the committee.
All right,
Thank you
all very much.
thanks, Aaron.
Yep.
I just lost this one.
Good.
Yeah, all right, what's up next? Would anyone like to make a public comment on anything on the agenda? Our second public comment has come. Okay, future agenda items, anyone have any interest?
Do we want to have a, I don't know if this is an agenda item, but in the next agenda, do we want to discuss the Facebook page? Is that something you want the control of how we're going to handle the Facebook page going forward, or you don't?
Yeah, so I mean, at the conference that I went to, the MASC conference, different one, for school committees, they had a couple different talks about PR, and so I think it is something that should be discussed. Yeah.
I didn't hear what you said.
Should we have a discussion about, if Lori's not here, not doing the Facebook page anymore, and Jen is now the district clerk, should we have a discussion over who would be running the Facebook page? Because I do not want to.
Yeah.
Have anything to do with it.
That's a great idea. That's something we talked about or brought up, a few times about like having a communications subcommittee, possibly something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that should be on the future agenda at some point.
And I also think they have a policy for that as well too, about communication, like who communicates us. So we need to look at that as well too. So it's not just anyone, whoever wants to throw something on there, right? It's got to be.
So Lisa and I started working on the protocols, and she's been doing an awesome job, like she's been pulling the policies because right now things kind of contradict. So we're trying to clean everything up so that we might need to change, depending on how we vote on our protocols, we might have to change or tweak some of our policies. But she's pulling all those policies, so we'll easily be able to figure that out. But I don't think there was anything about Facebook or social media in any of our policies.
The history of the Facebook page is, goes back to, I believe, Adam and Lori. So since it was up, chairs have had access to send out agendas or whatever communications. But yeah, we don't have it included in any policy.
A lot of different districts have operating protocols, so if you two are working on it, you might want to pull from other districts to see what they have, because they likely have.
Or MASC, right? Like
Well, the whole point of the protocols is from that training we did back in October. So we've already sort of discussed it. It's just writing it up in the document.
Good.
Yeah. The other thing for another agenda item, are we done talking about that?
No, what do you got?
Oh, so this is my fault because I didn't remind you. We were supposed to vote for that Boylston Capital Planning Committee.
Oh, well, I think we said yes, but we're going to do a formal vote, right?
No,
Is
I
that
was
what
gonna
you're
do
talking
it,
about? You are, you.
but
Right.
we're gonna do a vote. But yes, they have not had a meeting, so it hasn't been an ordeal, and we were gonna do a vote.
Yeah,
We just
put
didn't do that as a
on.
vote, just,
Sorry.
it's fine.
All right. Cool.
And then, I don't know, Lisa, our next meeting is the beginning of February. Do you think we'll have the protocols for our first read, maybe?
Definitely.
All right, so that would be a first read, and then I would assume we'll have like a 30-minute discussion on that. We have some things in there. I think people are like, we're trying to put time limits on meetings and trying to kind of like streamline everything. So I'm sure everybody's going to have an opinion on that. So I would assume a 30 to 45-minute discussion on that. We worked for like 2.5 hours on it.
Yeah, when the document's ready for a first read. Put it on.
Right.
I mean, future self-evaluations of a school committee are based on those operating protocols. So thanks for working on those.
The other thing was Laurie had seats on certain subcommittees. I don't remember which ones. I think maybe one was the self-eval, right?
It was, yeah, so it was the superintendent and
Superintendent, yeah.
self-evaluation committee.
So we're not doing that this year, right?
So that's the problem. We talked about it in June, and I thought you guys were going to get together over the summer and do something about it, but then nothing happened. So
Yes,
we're not doing
we
it.
floated many meeting times, but we
Yeah.
never got an approval.
So we're not doing it this year, but with Brent coming in next year, remember that was one of the things, well, we can talk about that later, but it'll have to be done next year, yeah.
Yeah, so we don't need to appoint someone on that subcommittee, but I don't know what else. I think Laurie was on policy. So somebody else, I don't know the way our current policy is written, we were surprised about subcommittee because that was something we looked up. It's actually the chair with the whole committee's approval for subcommittees. So it's not, right? Was that how it was written?
Yeah, the chair appoints subject to committee approval.
Subject to committee approval. So I don't know if you wanted to add that onto the next agenda to add someone to your policy subcommittee for the remainder of the year.
So we talked about that. Once we appoint the new person, we'll reorganize the subcommittees with the new
Okay.
person.
I want to clarify a point, though. I mean, I thought with the renewal of Al for this year, there was an evaluation of him this year.
Yeah, but nobody set goals. We have to evaluate based on goals.
I can certainly do whatever you need to do if you want me to do
So we
something.
said we weren't gonna evaluate Al, but we talked about setting goals for ourselves, because he's an interim.
Appreciate that, thank you.
Well, no offense.
No offense taken.
No, no,
I think he's definitely, we already have someone new coming on, so I don't wanna,
No,
I
I
do
think,
think we
I
should.
think the discussion was like, we didn't first year because
We didn't, yeah, we
interim,
should
but
have.
then I think.
No, Jess
touch
is right.
points.
We discussed it. We discussed doing it, set some goals this year. Those goals, we're gonna start with the committee's goals. We're gonna flow down to Al, and then we're gonna flow down to his administration. But it didn't get done.
Well, that was just.
It was
a
unfortunate that
self-starter.
meeting time was never approved, yep.
Sorry?
I said it was unfortunate that meeting time was never approved for Tracy to come sooner in the year.
We can go back to the minutes if you want. You guys were supposed to figure that out.
We did, there was no reply from the chair on those emails. Just,
Tracy said that we
Perfect.
weren't able to do that, she wanted to work with you.
No, that was for the protocol training. You're talking about discussing goals and superintendent evaluation.
you cannot do one without the other.
You can certainly set goals without having the protocol training.
That's if we actually are able to set a meeting for the superintendent
Jessica,
subcommittee as well.
you do not need the chair's approval to set a subcommittee meeting.
Oh, well, I had a tech subcommittee meeting not scheduled because of that
When?
recently.
When?
Right before the holiday.
Because the chair, me, I didn't approve something? I don't recall that. What was that?
We can talk offline about it, but
No,
we
You're
still
saying
have
that I-
6 months of the year left. And so I don't know why we have to throw out our own goals if we're going to be voting on operating protocols next month. I think perhaps, I know Al is on the way out with transferring power to Brent, but I think then perhaps those could be some of the goals, like what is he doing to transition Brent into the district? So, I'm not expecting, a huge PowerPoint or anything, but I think just so we all have the same expectations of the next actually 8 months before Al leaves and Brent takes over, transition of power in July.
Sure.
So seeing that, the goals of having Brent involved in the BMS principal hiring, I think would be good if we're all on the same page for the next 8 months.
I don't disagree
Sure.
with that, so how would we start doing that?
what do you want to do?
She just said she thought it would be a good idea if we had some goals. I think the committee needs some goals.
So we met in October. We had the training for protocols in October. It's now the middle of January. You guys are working on a protocol document. Jess just said she wouldn't be able to do goals until we had a protocol document. So the first step would be to get a protocol document.
All right, so we'll have that as a first read for the next meeting, which is the first week in February.
Okay.
And then is there, in the past, the subcommittee, we had a subcommittee that would,
So in the past, it was Lori and I did it. It was superintendent evaluations and then it was also self-evaluations. But because we never could set a meeting time to discuss those handbooks or the operating protocols, we never were able to set our own goals and thus a self-evaluation. So thank you for working on those operating protocols. But I think once we have a new member, hopefully appointed next meeting, then whatever the discussion is, 2 people or 3 people need to be assigned to that subcommittee to
Yeah.
then move forward to
Right.
design, MASC has a self-evaluation quiz that we did a few years back.
So let's be clear though, you don't need the protocols to do goals. We haven't had these protocols and we've done goals in the past.
We never actually did.
No, we have,
no,
Not in
she's
the past
not,
3 years.
but he's right.
possibly not in the past 3 years, but this committee has done goals before for both superintendent and for itself. Superintendent's then turned over and, we know that story. But you don't need, the protocols was a training about how we're going to schedule and run meetings. That could be a goal, but it's not necessary to create a goal. We had a superintendent evaluation subcommittee. That subcommittee usually took care of the school committee self-evaluation. Back in June, we had the same conversation. That committee was going to get together and do all that. I think, honestly, I don't remember if it was you.
Laurie
whoever
was
it
the chair of that subcommittee.
Of that
I
subcommittee,
believe,
but you specifically brought up the idea of doing an
Protocols.
evaluation of Al last spring, shortly after Cindy left. We talked about we can't do an evaluation because we didn't set goals. It's not fair to him. So then the conversation was over the summer, get together and figure out some goals. Separate from the protocol training with MASC. You can go back to the recording, you can go back to the minutes. You guys, honestly, I don't know if it was you or Jess, I don't remember off the top of my head, but you guys both wanted it. So we said, go do it.
So do you want us to set goals for Al? Usually the superintendent would set their own goals.
No. So wait a minute, if I could just jump in.
I
for a
don't think
second.
I ever committed to set goals for the superintendent.
so-
I
No, it
think
was
we
for the
committed to-
committee, which would then be
Yeah, the protocols for the
rolled down, no, 2 separate things, man. protocols and training and that is separate from self-evaluation goals.
It's not. If you go to the MISC trainings, the operating protocols, then that is that's what we judge. Are we holding ourselves to
You might
operating
write protocols to then do goals, but nothing stopped you from over the summer getting together and putting together goals. Which is what we talked about, Jim. What do you want to say?
So to answer your question, so you guys need to do your goals first. So let me be clear. We got goals. Everyone's sitting over here, right? We as an admin team have goals. My goals are reflective of their goals. The issue is going to be, my goals should really be reflective of your goals. You need to write your goals first. What do you want for the district? It should streamline into what the superintendent should be, same type of goals based on your goals. And then my goals that, based on your goals, should be flowing down to our admin that flow down to our teachers. One of the things that we have across this entire district, we've been doing that work because the work here, you didn't set goals. Our goal is universal design for learning. All the things that we're putting in place, the book studies that we're doing, the books that we bought for our teachers, all of that professional learning that we've encompassed so far this year, that is all of our goals that are universal across our district. We have those all in place. So just know that, but you technically don't set my goals. Your
Right.
goals are approved by me, right? So these are the goals. This is what we're doing. This is what we're working on. So that's how it works. But my goals should really be reflective of what you guys are doing. So the correct thing should be you guys write your goals first, all the way down the line.
Sorry, so for next time, for a future agenda item, the protocol document, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, the other thing Lisa and I talked about when we were doing the protocols is length of meetings, and obviously tonight's been great, but next time we have a heavy agenda, so I didn't know how people thought about using the as needed meeting for something, whether it be doing just the protocols of that, or whether it be doing the appointment of that. I don't know how people feel about that. Lisa, you jump in.
Well, I'd love to hear what everybody else thinks about
Well,
it.
that's not an agenda item that we can discuss or deliberate on right now, but is this part of your protocols? We can
Yeah,
put
it's
the
something
protocol
that's part of
document.
the protocol.
So when it's on the document and it's on the agenda, we can discuss it and decide what we want to do.
Well, I guess the separate question, the next month sounds like there's going to be a lot of things on it, and in addition to budget presentation, right?
Next month,
You will be presenting the budget to us,
so next month, is
26th,
the seventh
budget
meeting.
meeting, February 26th.
so there won't be any draft on the first.
I don't expect to have it. I mean, I could give some updates, but I can give some updates.
All right, so there
There
will
won't be
not be a
like a
lengthy
formal,
budget.
like, full on.
All right, there won't be so it'll just be appointments, protocol document, and regular business.
Yeah.
We just talked about using the as-needed meetings instead of having a million things on the meeting, to just use those as-needed meetings. So I didn't know if people thought this month warranted an as-needed meeting, since we have to do an appointment at the first February meeting, which depending on how many people apply, could take a while. And we're also, I would say for the protocols, 30 to 45 minutes, because I think people are going to have questions.
So what you're suggesting is 2 meetings a month and not one?
No, only if
She's saying in
needed.
this case, she is asking to do use the as-needed meeting for January to take it off the plate for.
I'm asking if people would be interested in taking either one of those topics and doing it as needed meeting. I don't know how long we're going to spend on the protocols. I can see us going down rabbit holes and going back and forth on some of the things that are on there. Like all
I don't-
of those things.
I'm not sure.
the appointments.
I'm not sure why we would, because we've already gone down the rabbit holes in October for these protocols. They were given to us as notes from Tracy. Your job was simply to write them as full sentences.
I think they're also looking at the handbook as well and trying to do.
Tons
that.
of questions on there, like we were like, need a policy for this, or need a thing for this, like.
Or clarification within a policy or in the handbook. Yeah, so there is a lot to talk about.
She thought we were doing it in an hour, and 2.5 hours later, we were like, all right, we gotta put this aside. So we were very focused. So I just think it's gonna, Lisa, please jump in. And nothing I say is so, how long do you think, I'm just trying to budget
It
time.
would be nice to not have a meeting until 10 o'clock.
I'm trying to understand, because we got together in October and we voted and we approved the protocols. We just had them in note form in Tracy's outline. We just needed them to come together as a document. If there's some policies to reference, maybe there is, or I'm not sure what you're looking at, but
Well, maybe I should meet with you offline,
Yeah.
show you what our analysis is so
Sure.
far, and then you can see where our brain was, and maybe we're going down the wrong road, but I think what we're doing is going to be very helpful for
It
clarifying,
might be.
following up
It's just-
on Tracy's meeting.
less scope creep in there. It's kind of expanded. It sounds like it's been. Let's
I
talk.
think it's worth having a look and making sure we're all on the same
Yeah.
page before we put any more
Let's talk
hours
about it,
into
yeah.
it. I appreciate it.
And the only
Sounds
thing
a lot.
I want you to be reflective of all that, like adding additional meetings, all these people behind you, right? So this is a busy time of year for us, budget, we gotta meet with Boylston, we gotta meet with Berlin, we got a lot of things.
As needed meeting, I would think would just be the committee.
Okay, so
Not have that.
because when you're talking about policies and some of those things, I want,
School committee protocols, or
Okay.
like the appointment of a new member.
okay,
I would think, like, we talked about it, doing it for special things, that we don't need everybody sitting here while we go back and forth on
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So protocols is a perfect thing,
School committee.
the school committee
Okay,
protocols.
I just give yours to say policies, right? Because I know my principals will want to be saying, what, how's that gonna, we live by the policies, right? So when we have conversations with parents or teachers, we refer to those policies. Meeting I had with the union today, we refer to, do we have a policy on this? So,
Right, this is specifically for
fair enough,
for
understood, sorry.
ourselves.
Operating
We're talking about.
protocols.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But there are policies in our policy manual, but they have nothing to do. if
What's
there's
it, what's an
policy-
example of a policy?
Policies, it was like B.
About like agendas, setting agendas, how the
Right.
meeting flows, like what's.
Subcommittees,
included in the meeting,
Electronic
subcommittees.
communication.
Yep,
Yeah.
communications, we're posting things,
Yeah.
all that stuff, that we did definitely talk about, we never resolved everything, we were kind of like, okay, we've
But
been
we just
just
kind of made
hours.
a vague kind of a goal, like to look into this, so we did, and we considered a lot of different aspects of it.
So like meeting length's 2 hours, like we, we said we need to do something about the long meetings. This is where we actually put something in writing, and we're like, all right,
So I'm gonna do
2 hours.
something about the long meeting right now, and we're gonna put this on a future agenda item, and we're gonna move into business items. Cool?
Yeah, that's fine, the question was, do you want to do it as needed, and you can decide that later, I guess.
We'd have to vote on.
Yeah, we have one scheduled already, so if we're gonna need it, we can just hold it. We can talk
Okay.
later if we need that.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so we have 3 overnight field trips on business items. How do you want, Beth, how do you want to handle this?
Are there presentations for these, or is,
Nick and I were just gonna come up together and run through the.
right, so, yeah, do about the whole group and then we'll vote individually after?
You wanna do that?
Yeah, that would be
Okay.
my preference.
Yeah, sure, come on up and tell us what you got.
Yeah, we'll make it short and sweet as much as possible.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know it was third person, sorry.
So last year, I got approved to start to talk to World Explorers Club, and we are going to Japan in April. That was approved, we have 17 kids going, which is awesome, that's the sweet spot, so we're very excited. And a lot of kids are like, yes, I want to do future trips. So I was thinking about, and the request is for approving the next 2 years. The thought being students and parents, families can start saving now. So maybe a year out, we can't swing it, but we know about something 2 years out. So I want to jumpstart by doing 2 years now. And then next year add the 2029. So have families in high school, students in high school would know the years, let's see, yeah, 2 years out and can start planning if they're interested. So that's why it's a request for Italy for April 27, Germany 2028. And Nick will speak to his in a moment. There is an overlap, and we talked about it. The French, Spanish, and art classes, they're looking to do April 27 in France and Spain, servicing different students. World Explorers Club is open to 9 through 12, anyone. There's just class specific. So we talked about, I said, hey, if I need to step back, and we're like, we can put the options out there, give kids the opportunity to travel wherever they want. And again, there's not a ton of overlap in terms of the students there. So that's why we're kind of up here together seeking approval for the April 2027 piece as well. So that's it. The World Explorers Club still runs the same way. This year, the focus is on Japan, optional trip to Japan. Next year, it'd be focused on Italy, trip to Italy. Year after, it's Germany with two nights in Prague, but primarily Germany.
Pretty much what Bill just said, the different countries. So our trip, like Bill said, April vacation 2027. My French classes, high school classes, Senora Silva's Spanish classes, she's still on maternity leave, so she's going to hear Ms. Grant's, our classes, high school classes. 8 days, half the time in France, half the time in Spain. With a couple of, so starting in Paris, a couple of stopover days in smaller towns along the border, and then ending in Madrid. We have world space, starting museums, Paris, and just seemed like a good collaborative trip. And like Bill said, in terms of the overlap, we're gonna have kids who want to go to Italy. We also have kids who will be invested to go on our trip through the academic aspect of things, class related things. So we feel pretty confident about enrollment overall.
Is, Mr. Reedman, is yours 9 through 12 as well, or is yours
9 through 12.
9 through 12?
And are they all school vacation days? Are there some school days involved with those? I thought maybe.
My guess, it wouldn't be locked in until closer. So, but using Japan as an example, we're leaving on the 17th, so it's one school day for travel. Some of these trips might actually be shorter. If anything, there would be no more than one possible school day.
And hence the reason why you're in front of school committee, right? So because it's involving school days as well too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and ours is one school day. There's an overnight, I think the Thursday before, overnight flight the Thursday before vacation. So kids would miss Friday.
And I met with Bill today, the union today, and we talked about the chaperone training as well too, that all chaperones will go through as well. And Bill, could you just give me a little, I know you shared with me, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, about chaperones, how they're selected, right, for your trips that are
So for
separate.
my trip,
Yeah.
yeah, so I use the company ACIS, that's separate. And for every 6 kids, the chaperone is paid for. I initially opened it up to staff. Hey, who would be interested in chaperoning? And it was based on, priority and having at least 1 male, 1 female. So I opened it up to staff, teachers that the students know. So for my trip, it's myself, Mr. Doherty, and Ms. Speroni. And then now, ACIS, they suggest, depending on trips, you can open invites to parents, but sometimes that's problematic. Al made the point earlier about sometimes parents are just focused on their kids, their children on the trip. Japan being such a unique trip, I did open it to parents, and some said, oh, I'd be really interested, but if you said, my student, a junior, I want them to have this experience on their own. So in my case, I did open it up to parents who were interested, all passed, but I opened it to staff first. And additional training with DA, that's fine, whatever we need to do.
Yeah, same on our end. Same ratio at this price point, at least it's 6 students per chaperone. So depending on enrollment, currently it's myself, Ms. Silva, Ms. Graham, and Ms. Hager, theoretically as far as teachers go. But yeah, same rationale. Open teachers first and parents will be welcome as well.
It's a little bit different at the high school. I think just talking to parents, a lot more parents want their kids to have that experience on their own, but there were teachers they know and had several classes with.
Any questions for them?
Do you have any ideas have you put out there what the interest level is? Like you said, you have 17 for Japan. Has you even mentioned Italy at all? And
I personally only mentioned these next 2 trips of the kids going on to Japan because they're interested. Last year, after the presentation, after my presentation and approval, I put it out. I got about 33 kids interested. Then from there, they were like really thinking, then it went down to 19 registered. 2 had a drop for family conflicts in schedule. Here I go again, school. Yeah, that's about them. I was hoping for 15 to 20. With ACIS, once you hit 15, it becomes a private tour, so we're not going to be bundled up with another school. So hit 17, and there are other kids saying, oh, I would do Europe. It's just based on places they've been or interest in it. So there is interest. And again, my feeling is you put it out there, and if there's 0 interest, okay, we put it out there and try. But I know there are students that are like, oh, I can't do it this year, but maybe next year, the year after. And part of that's just saving up money. And these 2 trips are cheaper than the trip to Japan.
is there a sweet spot number for the Spain and France one?
Ideally, yeah, I believe about the same, yeah. 15 to 19 minimum. They can accommodate over 40. I don't have concrete numbers in terms of who was raised their hand and said I'm interested in going.
In terms of keeping it like at a price that's affordable,
Sure.
you would need approximately 30 kids to agree to go between the 2 of your trips for
Mine is
April.
a fixed rate for each traveler.
Okay, it doesn't matter how many, okay.
Correct, on mine, I'm
That
not
just has to
sure.
do with the chaperones and like that's the
sorry?
difference. It's just the chaperones that make the difference, how many?
Yeah, so for every 6 paid registered travelers, you get a paid chaperone.
Okay, got it.
And our pricing is somewhat variable depending on how many kids are there.
No.
At the 15 student end, if we have a really small group, each student would pay an additional $400. If we get 35, they pay an additional $55. So it is variable price depending on how many people, but not drastic considering the overall cost of it.
So Bill, when you said paid chaperone, you're talking that's included in the cost of the student?
Covers the cost. So for, every 6 paid, because conceivably it's, a parent could join us and they'd be paying. So for every 6 paid travelers, a chaperone, the price would be covered.
Okay, so covered by the paid travelers, not the company kicking in some person from their security team or something. It's the chaperones that use.
Yes, myself, Mr. Doherty, like we are going because we hit those numbers.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And I did the training through group leader training in November for ACIS, and they have an awesome network. And to get interest to the point, how many kids would want to go traveling to Germany? Yay! Like 50 kids will raise their hand. And then, well, how many? Yeah, I would. You don't know until they actually register.
Yeah.
So.
Any other questions?
So after they vote today, you'll start getting those feelers out there, right? And really start advertising it until, like Beth said, and then you'll be able to come back to school committee and give them like, hey, this is where, like what you've done for us, Bill. Here's an update of where we're at, right? This is either going really well for Spain and France or Germany, or we're not seeing interest in this week. We need to revisit, just to keep them updated.
Yeah, I have a flyer ready to go tomorrow with, are you interested in this trip, both trips, et cetera, and then take it from there. And that gives them more time. They won't have to register. If they're interested in Germany, they don't have to register this year. They can wait till next year. The price would increase. I think it's every quarter. Like it might go up a little bit in March, but that's the incentive to sign up now.
So I think school committee, they're asking for a vote, but they'll continue to give you updates on these.
The only thing I'd say about either of these trips, Bill, is just talking to Al. I have some, just not hesitations or concerns, but just regarding chaperones. And I think we solve this by, you're going to come up with your protocols and training, whatever that ends up looking like. I think I'm be comfortable with that. But the fact that you're here looking for 2 years out and, the art class you're looking for next year, I just personally would like to see you just keep this ball rolling and just every year adding on that next year. And this becoming a known thing for kids in the district as they're coming up through elementary school into the middle school into high school. Personally, I think, there's a lot of risk with these programs. Of course, we talked about it. It makes people nervous, their kids going overseas and whatnot, but what they're going to get from the trip. I did a similar trip. I tell people all the time, and probably the most valuable thing I've done in my life was the trip I did in high school. Just like this, right? It was a 2-week thing, but I want to just make sure it's planned well, organized well. The documentation that we got in Drive, just, in the future, if we could get maybe a little bit more fleshed out, a little bit more bulk or substance to what was written. But I just think it's an incredible opportunity for the kids at school, and I'm glad you're stepping up to do it. Take yourself to Europe, that's great. Get the kids involved. I think it's probably the best thing that they can do while they're here.
Quick question, thank you, Mike. For future reference with the Drive, I provided like all this.
Yeah, no, there's nothing that I'm asking for you to do right now. There's nothing that I don't think I was missing or anything, just full sentences instead of notes. There's a lot of notes in scribbles, but just, I'd love to be able to look back at this 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and say, let's do the trip like we did in 2027, 28. Well, what did the form say for that? What did the school committee approve for that? And just something that after time has gone on, we can look back and know exactly what it was. That's just on the,
Sure.
it's just on the application, it's just on the application form.
Sure.
It's not a criticism. I'm just, with something like this, with the risks that are involved or the perceived risk for parents sending their kids overseas, the more information we had there as a committee voting on it, taking it on, the better. But I hope you keep these programs out there, talked up, marketed, whatever you want to call it. Plan 4 or 5 years out where you're going to go countries, and then people, 6th graders, 7th graders come into school, they say, oh, when I get to high school, I can go do this trip. And some of the kids that maybe can't afford it, maybe they can, if they really want to do it, they can figure out over 3-4 years how to hit that one trip. Maybe some kids will go every year, I don't know. But I think it's
getting
awesome.
a passport. Getting a passport is huge. To have them get a passport in high school, it opens the world for them going forward. And it's amazing to encourage them.
You do your kids and teach them to travel, the love of travel, right? So, what a great thing. And the way this ties to our curriculum, like, it's just, it's what incredible opportunities. And to Mike's point, like, people putting this on their resumes, that they've done that. I know, all 3 of my kids in college, Matthew, I would recommend it, studying abroad, right? It is an unbelievable opportunity that makes your resume stand out a little bit more than everybody else's when they're looking at that we've studied abroad, we've done this, we've done that. Adding that to your resume is a powerful thing.
All right, any final thoughts, or should we take a vote, one vote on them individually? So we have the right.
Seeing like the ACIS itinerary or something like that would be awesome.
1300.
Is that not in there?
I think
Is
it's
it in there? Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I'm,
Was it?
right, because
QR code.
Oh,
I loaded up with a ton of stuff
Talk
last
to you,
year.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
Cool, oh, I just lost this number.
Thank you.
I'll send along an updated one.
All right, can I have a motion, please, to approve the Tohoto World Explorers Club for Italy in April 2027 and Germany in April 2028.
So moved.
Jess,
Second.
Beth, final comments?
Thank you for doing the work.
Yep.
you.
Awesome.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against it? All right, that motion passes. Can I have a motion, please, for the approval of Tohoto French, Spanish, and art class, France and Spain trip, April 2027?
So moved.
Jess,
Second.
Beth, questions on that one? All right, all in favor of that?
Aye.
Anyone against it? All right, so that motion passes as well. Are any of you involved in the student council trip that's on the list? No? There we go.
Hey, you guys, thank you.
Thank you
And
so
school
much.
committee, thank you. There are many of my colleagues that school committees are not approving these trips to study abroad and go overseas. So, yes, very much so.
It's so huge.
Yeah, there are many school committees that are saying no to these trips, so thank you guys for allowing this to happen.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
gentlemen, ladies.
Thanks, guys. Okay, can I have a motion for the approval of Tohoto Student Council MASC conference trip to Hyannis, Mass in March 2026? Lisa?
Second.
Jess? Any questions from Matt on this? He had the same paperwork in the drive as the other two, so.
I hope it's all there. I don't know.
Nervous now.
You're good, just say that. No, let it go, Matt. It's good, it's good.
Who are the teachers going with you, Matt?
And we would be Mrs. Rinker and Mrs. McCarthy, who are the student council advisors.
Anybody have any questions for him? No. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against it? Okay, that motion is approved. We're going to enter executive session now. We may return to open session to vote. Executive session pursuant, could I have a motion, please, to enter executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A, Purpose 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining, the BBRSD custodial staff Teamsters Local 170, and an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining position of the public body. The chair so declares.
So moved.
Jess? Lisa? All those in favor of that? Megan?
Aye.
Lisa? Beth?
Aye.
Yes?
Aye.
As well, so today we'll also enter executive session. Got a motion to enter executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, Section 21A, Purpose 2, to conduct strategy session in preparation for negotiations with non-union personnel, and conduct contract negotiations with non-union personnel. Superintendent of Schools elect Dr. Brent Conley.
So moved.
Jess?
Second.
Lisa? Questions? Roll call, Megan?
Aye.
Lisa? Beth?
Aye.
Jess?
Aye.
As well, so we'll enter executive session.